Hey yo guys, what's up? Welcome back to Two Toe Tags Metal Reviews, and today we're getting our final review of Deceiver of the Gods by Amon Amarth. Alright, so TV Fish spent a week listening to this album. I listened to this album a bunch throughout the week as well, but I've heard it a million times before. But I want to know, obviously after a week, what are your thoughts so far? Well, after a week.
You know what, this album, when I first heard it, I knew, okay, this album is good. This album is solid. Like, I already can enjoy it. And throughout the week, I'm really glad that it didn't get tired on me. Because that's always the biggest fear with the test of time for albums, even if there's a good first impression that, okay, will I get bored of it? I wasn't really getting bored of it. There were, across the board, they were good songs, but there's a few songs that like were really starting to stand out to me above others. So I guess I'll talk about those.
Yep.
One of my absolute favorites now after listening to it for a week is We Shall Destroy.
Yeah.
Just the groove is so strong and it's pumping, and just the way they hit the shots during the song are so powerful, and it's every time that song comes on I feel like the fire going, you know?
Yeah, there's some really sick drum fills and rolls and stuff like that in that song too. It does stand out a little bit amongst other ones for those kind of reasons.
Yeah. And funny to mention, you know, I talked about how much I really enjoyed Blood Eagle last week. That song kind of dipped a little bit for me over the course of the week because it's just a little bit too short. It's just kind of, okay, we got something good, and then it's gone.
Is there any chance you overplayed it?
Perhaps. I didn't really force myself onto that song very often. That's the thing.
The fact that it is short, maybe it almost feels like you hear it more often.
Perhaps, yeah.
Because it's over so fast. I don't know.
But at the same time, there were like other songs like We Shall Destroy that kind of started to overshadow that in terms of my liking.
Yep.
So I think that's kind of what diminished that song, is that others were just rising up above that one.
Makes sense.
So another one I was really, really loving was Hell, the track right after We Shall Destroy. I love the guest vocals.
Yep.
Just, I talked about this last week, how they're layered on top of each other with the main vocal. Sounds awesome. I just love the chorus as well. I love the drum groove on it with the ride cymbal. It sounds so interesting, and there's no other song on this album like it. It's a completely unique song.
Yeah, it's very different. I find the main vocalist, Johan Hegg, I find he sings a little deeper on that song than he normally does. Like, his pitch is a little lower, and I think that's great to contrast the high vocal of Messiah Marcolin, the guest vocalist. It just adds that awesome contrast. I think he did that on purpose, just to make that song a little beefier.
Yeah, and it has a really good melodic narrative, I find.
Yeah.
I mean, We Shall Destroy also stands out, but Hell, I feel like, is the most standout song on the album.
Yeah, I would agree. I would say it's the most different sounding song.
Yeah. I was also really enjoying As Loke Falls. I talked about this last week, where there was this guitar riff that I really liked, and I, for some reason, could not remember what song it was. That's the song.
Yeah. Yeah, that's got some like sick shred riffing, you know, type of stuff. I love that stuff.
I just love how it sounds when it kicks in after the intro. It just feels amazing, and it goes through the verses, and it's just really nice. A lot of power metal influences I find come out of this album. Yeah. Even though this band is, you know, melodic death metal or Viking metal, however you want to call it, I find there are a lot of power metal influences, probably because the subject matter of Vikings and the fighting and adventuring kind of is relevant in both genres. So the way they create their music kind of reflects that, so you get kind of a crossover.
Yeah, I can hear the elements too. Yeah, they're definitely there, yeah.
Especially with the guest vocals in Hell. Like, I found a lot of the influence
for sure
within that song, which was really nice.
Throughout the week, you were talking about Father of the Wolf.
Yes, I was.
That's another song that was growing on you a bit.
There's one specific part of this song, even though the whole song is good, but one specific part is the end of the guitar solo. Like, right before they, you know, play like the intro out. In the guitar solo, he plays the riff, like the main melodic riff, and then he's going up the scale, but instead of continuing going up, he goes down to a minor second above the root note of the scale, and then goes down to the root note, and I love that.
That's the type of creativity that just makes a song stand out, or makes a part of a song stand out.
Yeah, and it's such a simple thing for him to play, but it's just so fruitful, and it's so deceptive too. Am I going up? No, going down.
Totally expecting one thing and you get something else.
Exactly.
I love that guitar solo too, by the way, because he's got this like awesome like pedal effect he's got on his guitar. It just sounds like his guitar's just singing. It just sounds like it's singing the melody to you. I love that effect.
Yeah, that is really good.
Really cool stuff. What else? Anything else? Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, I've heard this album a bunch of times. It's really hard for me to listen to it and like find new stuff about it. I talked about a lot of stuff in the first impressions video, which is basically how I feel about the whole album.
Well, another thing you talked about that I wanted to expand upon was the main vocals.
All right.
Because last week, I remember you said to me, you know, before you picked this album, you were a little worried that, you know, maybe I would think that it gets too stagnant. It's like the same thing over and over. And after listening to the album for a whole week, like having that time made me realize the voice is nowhere near stagnant.
No.
To be completely honest, you might think it is because it's like, oh, this one growl. No. Yeah. There are songs where the growl is higher, a little bit more like a scream, and there's even deeper, like in Hell. Like I started to notice all the differences there. That made me appreciate the vocals even more. Despite how, you know, in the first impression, I already enjoyed it in the first impression. So listening to it over the week made me just love it even more.
So the thing for me is, it's not exactly the pitch that's the problem, it's the tone that I thought might be the problem. The pitch is higher, lower, mid-range, but the tone is always the same, right?
The tone is similar.
There's sometimes hard to differentiate those two things, but that's what I was worried about, if that similar tone was gonna be a factor for you.
Not only was, like, it was similar, but I felt with his little bit of pitch shifting with the voice, that helped. That made it feel definitely fresh. But also the context. These songs are about Vikings, they're going on adventures, they're fighting, they want to get to Valhalla. It's the perfect voice for a narrative as such. So it's just, I have no problem with that. Like, it's so fitting. You know, when you jump into subject matter like this, that's exactly what you would expect.
Yeah, I agree. I just feel like all around this band is like a pinnacle of what a metal band should sound like. Like, they got just everything you want in a metal band, like just the perfect riffs, the perfect melodies, that perfect voice, just the package, the full package that these guys bring, especially on this album. Like I said, I could have picked other albums for you to review, and I think your feelings would have been very similar no matter which one I picked, but I don't know, man. I'm really glad that this one resonated with you as much as it did.
Yeah, man. Really I enjoyed it. I mean, the only issue really that I would have is that Warriors of the North still feels like a little bit of a dud of a last song. I feel that Under Siege would have been a perfect album closer, just because of how emotional it is. It fits in the context of where it is already. It's halfway through the album, so it's like a nice transitional song to the second half, which starts with Blood Eagle. But I feel like it would have been so great with that fade out at the very end.
Under Siege is still one of my least favorite songs on the album. I think it's a good song, but I just feel like it lacks memorable moments. It kind of just is a very, as far as Amon Amarth goes, it's a very average plain Jane song. There's nothing really that stands out, unless there's like maybe subtle things that I don't know or that I'm missing, that if I did know about them, I'm like, oh shit, that was actually pretty impressive. But it's, everything in that song flies completely under my radar. Not a bad song, but for a last song, I agree though. I think that would have been a better last song. You know, have that as the closer, and then Warriors of the North, still cut it in half. Put it somewhere else. But we talk about that a lot in our reviews, the track placement and stuff like that, and how we feel about them. I mean, I don't know if these artists really plan out track placement as much as, you know, some other artists might. Whether they do or do not, I don't know. But one thing I know that Amon Amarth typically does is puts the title track at the beginning.
Opens up the story. I mean, they did that here, of course.
I don't know if they do that on every album, but I know at least a few albums they do that.
Love the riff of that song, by the way, the title track. Fucking sick. It's so mean, and it's just a great album opener to just get you right into the action.
It's like the energy's right there right away, and you're into it. But I don't know, is there anything else you'd like to add about any other specific tracks or the album as a whole, or do you think we should get to the ratings?
Not really. I mean, the only other thing I could maybe mention is that Coming of the Tide, which is the second last track, has an awesome guitar solo at the end. On an album that has guitar solos that are good but not amazing, this one stands out above the others. And that's pretty much the hallmark of that song. Like, that's the memorable moment of Coming of the Tide, I find.
And that guitar solo just like comes out of nowhere. It's just like a fist out of, like, poof, like here it comes, like
it's like without warning. Just here we are,
and it's sick.
Anyway, well, with that said, let's get to ratings. So, Vile, what's your rating for this album?
You know, I picked the album for a reason. I love this band. I think this band is underrated and they're top tier in what they do. I think this album is top tier. I'm not gonna spend too much time blabbing about my rating, but I'm giving it a toe tag.
All right, now for me, I had a lot of struggles, even today or throughout the week, thinking about what I want to rate it, because this album is really awesome. And I thought to myself, you know, does this album deserve a toe tag even though it's not like one of my personal like all-time favorites? Because it didn't really click with me and blow my mind, but I have no complaints with it. Like I can't, you know, speak bad about this album. Totally solid. So I'm gonna say objectively, this album gets my toe tag because this album is just straight up awesome. I can't complain about it. It's not my favorite, you know, toe tag album out of, you know, my personal.
Right.
But it definitely deserves it, because what bad can I say? There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
So Deceiver the Gods, well done.
Yeah. And any like kind of negative things that we do say about it, those are mostly personal, like minor gripes or issues like track placement or songs being a little too long.
Yeah, like this album,
that's not stuff you'd take points away for really for a review.
Stuff that I would complain about with this album are so minuscule. Like I said, there's nothing really wrong with it. So 2 toe tags for this album.
Well deserved, and I'm glad you liked it. I'm definitely going to get you to listen to more Amon Amarth though, and I know a lot of the fans, the subscribers who were commenting on the last video were saying, you should listen to this, you should listen to that, or this one's better, that one's better. I agree with all those comments.
I got some work to do then.
You got some work to do. But yeah, anyways guys, that's it for this video. Deceiver of the Gods gets 2 toe tags. Let us know in the comments below what you guys think, and be sure to like this video, subscribe if you guys are new to the channel, and we'll see you guys on the next one. I'm Bile Self.
I'm TV Fish.
Peace out guys.